Good morning. This is Dr. Shana with Morning Transformations with Dr. Shana. I'm so excited that you're here this morning. I just want to wish you an amazing morning as you're up and you're moving around. What we have to be thankful for. I'm so glad that you chose to join me this morning for today's episode. Now, some of you may not know me at all, and some of you may not know why I am deciding right now to do these morning transformations with each of you every day. Well, let me tell you a little bit about this thought. So for the last several weeks, I've been in a lot of deep reflection and thought about my own life, personally, professionally, health-wise, and I was reminded that inspiration is something that you're deep down why. It's something that's always with you. You always know why you do what you do, but motivation is different. Motivation is something that actually washes off every night in the shower. Every single day you go to bed, you wake up without the motivation that possibly you had the day before. So it becomes really important that you put that back into your system every single day. Now, my question for you would be, do you even understand why the morning is the time to do this? I'll tell you why. The first thing in the morning, the first 20 or 30 minutes of your day are the most critical in determining the kind of day that you're going to have. Why? Because your brain is the most open and receptive to new information. Whatever you present to your mind, first 20, 30 minutes of your day is going to be what you focus on. So if you wake up first thing in the morning and you're listening to the news and you're listening to all the negative stuff going on in the world, or you're on Facebook or social media looking to see who liked your pictures and who didn't, and disappointed because nobody did overnight. Why? Because they was all asleep anyway. But you're looking for that stuff and it only puts you in a bad mood. So you are better served and have a better opportunity to have an amazing day if you choose to begin your day with some positive motivational thoughts. So what I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, like I said a minute ago, is, I've been reflecting. And as I've been reflecting, I'm asking myself, Dr. Shana, what is it that you need, to continue to do the work that you do? And yes, my inspiration is always there to me. I know that I'm called to do all of this work, but every single morning, I don't wake up feeling motivated all the time. So I began searching and looking for motivational talks and conversations on the internet. And I said, you know what, if I need this stuff, I know my family, my friends, the folks in my world could also benefit from some positive conversation first thing in the morning. So here I am, family, with morning transformations, because it is so important to me that you have what you need in order to create the life that you can feel amazingly excited about. Why? Just because you woke up. That's a reason to be excited. But I want to bring you a thought every day, or maybe it's a medley of thoughts, perhaps, just depends on the day, that will begin to focus your thinking for your day. And I'm hopeful that it will move you along a path, a very positive path, to great days, which equal great weeks, right? Which equals a great life. So today's thought is really about several different things. I mean, one of the first things that really is important to me is helping folks to figure out that nothing means anything until you give it meaning. I'm going to repeat that, family. Nothing means anything until you give it meaning. You see, sometimes we find ourselves in some real difficult situations. So maybe something in the last 24 hours or 40 hours happened to you that was really difficult, really maybe a tragedy. Maybe it was something, gosh, I wish that had never happened. But here's the thing. It doesn't mean anything until you give it meaning. So sometimes we can find ourselves focusing on the negative aspects of things. Are you one who walks around complaining all the time about what's missing in life? I don't have a big car, and I don't have a fancy job, and I don't have this, and I don't have a husband, and I don't have this kind of money. And if that's all you focus on, those are all the deficits, the holes that exist in your life. What I can promise you is that you're only going to feel one way when you focus there. Instead, you may also find yourself blaming other people for that state of mind that seems very negative. Well, here's the news, family. Today, you can no longer blame anyone else for your position or your disposition. That is on you. Now, I'm not saying that to be mean or ugly or rude. I'm saying that to empower you so you know that you have the power, you have the control, you have all of what you need in order to create the positive and forward progressive trajectory of the life that you've always said you wanted. You see, while you sit back and you wait for somebody else to do something or make a move to then somehow improve your life, you are not going to get where you want to go. I promise you that, because everyone is on their own path. So if I'm waiting on the next man to give me what I need so that I can move on to my life, he worried about himself. Well, I'm sitting here waiting on him to give me something that I need. That's, first of all, unfair. And then we get mad at them for not providing us with the thing that we need to be given to ourselves. Hello. So what I'm asking you to consider is right now, what are the things that you are waiting on someone else to provide for you that you need to provide for yourself? You see, they are in a capacity to give you what's already inside of you. I want to encourage you this morning to know that you have absolutely everything that you need right now today inside of you right now that will move you in the direction of where you've always wanted to go. I'm not saying it's easy, y'all. I'm not dismissing the difficulties of this life, but what I'm telling you, no matter what it is, no matter what, I don't care what your story is, not in a negative way. It doesn't matter the detail. You still have inside of you exactly what you need to move and progress, to become who you choose to be, to do what it is you want to do, to show up the places you want to show up at. Now, does that not come with some work? Yes, none of this comes easily. But what I'm telling you is you got to focus on the right things to move you in the right direction. Decide today that you're not going to focus on things that aren't moving you forward. So like the things that don't serve you. So when you sit and you focus on all those holes, what's missing, that doesn't serve you because it doesn't move you forward. It only puts you in the same state of mind of negative thinking and negative space. Y'all, negative thinking only begets negative outcomes. And what I know for you, if you have chosen to listen to this message this morning, is you don't want negative outcomes. You're looking for something positive. So tap into the parts of who you are and whose you are that are inside of you already, that have given you the power that is necessary to move forward. You see, we yield too much of our power away to other people. That's what happens when you sit and you wait on someone else to do something to make your life somehow better. That's what happens when you blame other people for your current circumstance. It ain't their fault, family. It's on you. And that's not to be mean, ugly, or rude. That's to empower you that I don't have to wait on Sam, Sally, Sue, or Joe to do anything for me to help me move forward. I am empowered to do that all myself. To me, y'all, I call that the good news. So I want you to take this good news today, wrap it all up, and I want you to tuck it away somewhere in your pocket so you don't forget that you always have what you need at all times. Here's the secret, though. We don't always access the things that are available to us. You see, you and I are born with this innate sense of well-being. It's inside of us where we are capable of getting our needs met. But so much of the time, we don't do that for a whole lot of life that gets in the way. We don't ask for what we need. We focus on the negative stuff and we just find ourselves miserable. But I'm going to tell you something. The misery you have is yours. Own it. Own it today. Own the misery that you've been sitting in for the last 24, 48 hours, 48 years. I don't know how long you've been in your misery, but own it. Maybe your misery, and I'm going to get real messy right now. Maybe your misery is your finances and you just spend and you're broke. Maybe your misery is a bad relationship, the one you've been sitting in for way too long and you've been knowing for quite some time it really ain't the one you want. Maybe your misery is your job that is, oh, it's so difficult and nobody there respects you. They don't honor you or your work. They don't recognize you, and instead they talk about you behind your back. I don't know. Maybe that's your misery. Maybe spiritually you're miserable because you're disconnected from your power source and you haven't taken the time to stop and speak to the one who has given you all the things that you need for you to be successful in your life. I don't know what your misery source is, but whatever your source of misery is, today you no longer can blame anyone else for it. Be empowered to know that if it's mine, if you own it, then you are now in a capacity to do something about it. As long as you are blaming other people for your circumstance, for your position or your disposition, they have to make a move before you can be improved. Y'all got me? No longer do you sit and wait for that to happen. What I'm encouraging you to do right now today, y'all, is to make a decision. Now, one of the things that I'm huge about is affirmation. Affirmation is everything. And one of my favorite affirmations is today I decide. Today I decide. And today, I really want you to focus on this aspect of this talk and ending it with this affirmation of focus for you, because it's not until we focus correctly are we really able to see. You see, when you walk into a dark room and it is dark, your eyes typically need to adjust for a few moments before you can actually see. So what I'm encouraging you to do this morning is walk into this dark room of a space of the misery that you've been sitting in, and whether it's a health misery, whether it's financial, whether it's relationship, whether it's career or job or personal, or maybe you just got a bad feeling about yourself and it's low self-esteem. I don't know what your misery is, but I'm inviting you to walk into the dark room of whatever your misery is, and I want you to sit in it for just a moment and listen to this message that I'm sharing with you and allow your eyes to adjust. I want you to allow them to adjust for a minute so you can then see what is actually here as opposed to what you thought was here. Because we can make up a whole lot of stuff, y'all. And in our making up of things, we miss what's actually present in the room. So as your eyes adjust in this dark room of misery that you are the author of, let's be clear, you're the author. You wrote it. You've decided this is the room you want to sit in. So we're here now. So be in this space. Allow your eyes to adjust. And I want you to see this a little bit more clearly. That I am the owner of everything that's in this room. And I am now empowered and responsible for making whatever shifts need to occur right now today in order that I can move in the direction that I have always said I wanted to move. And when you walk in this dark room and your eyes have not adjusted and you start to move too quickly, you're going to trip over everything in the flow. I'm trying to tell you, been there, done that. You want to allow your eyes to adjust. That's what this 20 or 30 minutes is in your morning, is allowing yourself to adjust so you can see what you really need to see. I hope you get this, family, because if you're walking in blind, you're going to miss everything I'm talking about. The whole lesson will be missed. Walk in the room, let your eyes adjust, see it more clearly, and make this decision. Today, I decide to own exactly what's mine. I am empowered to make the shifts necessary in my life to no longer sit in misery. Today, I decide to no longer be miserable. Today, I decide to no longer be miserable. You get to make that decision, family. And when you decide to no longer be miserable, you are now opening yourself up to do the work that's necessary to move from misery to full transformation. That's what this is all about. I decide to no longer be miserable, and instead I am willing to do my work. Now, ask yourself this question. What work do you need to do today in order that you will not be miserable in whatever area you've decided you're miserable right now today? If maybe your misery is your health and you don't like the way your clothes fit, so your decision today to not be miserable may sound like, and I'm also deciding because I no longer want to be miserable, is to exercise today. Decide that top of the morning this morning, family. Today I decide to no longer be miserable, and what that means is I am going to exercise because that's where my misery lasts. That's where my misery sits. The day I decide to no longer be miserable on my job, and I will adopt an attitude that will allow me to have a positive outlook. Well, I will focus on the aspects that are helpful to me. I don't know what it needs to sound like for you, whatever your soundtrack is, but make a decision to no longer be miserable today. All right. That's the thought for today. I hope that it helped you some, because I want you to understand today I decide to no longer be miserable. Today I decide to no longer be miserable. I choose to do my work. Do your work, family. Do your work, family. Do your work. And I will see you next time on the next episode of Morning Transformations with Dr. Shana. I'm rooting for you. Y'all have a great day.